Welcome, crypto fam, to number one daily Bitcoin pod, Bitcoin pumping. Back in the green, back above 103. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest astrology for the broskies. Also, breaking news, Kentucky State Representative TJ Roberts says he will file a Bitcoin strategic reserve bill. Music to my ears. We'll also be discussing Utah House Committee passes a bill for the state to buy crypto, as well as Trump media to invest cash reserves into Bitcoin, crypto, and ETFs. We'll also be discussing the latest KuCoin agreement to pay $297 million to the U.S. government for operating unlicensed money transmitting business. We'll also be discussing Arthur Hayes' Just Blaze says ugly Bitcoin correction to propel the biddy to $250,000 per coin this year with no material pullback. Also, big breaking news, the Czech National Bank governor to propose $7.3 billion Bitcoin reserve plan as the global hash wars continue. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. If you're new to the channel, important to smash the likes, go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, 7 days a week, just like this. Today is pod episode 1890. I'm your host, JV. It's January 29th, 2025. All hail the new chairman of the SEC. He goes by the name of the Nibbinator. We may get another Nibbinator indicator. He gave us one the other day, and we started pumping just like that. It's like witchcraft at its finest. But that's all I'm going to say. But anyways, let's kick it off with our market watch as we do each and every day. You can see Coin 360 pulled up on the screen here. Bitcoin in the green, pretty low biddy going up. 103.4 up 1% on the day. Ether pulled back down 1%. XRP down 2%. And the broader market correcting and in the red. But Bitcoin is in the green. That's all that matters. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. Current crypto market cap sitting at, looks like 3.49 trillion Bitcoin market cap, above 2 trillion. Good to be back above. And the Bitcoin dominance has been on the climb, which is nice. The volume's 117 billion past 24 hours. Dominance 58.7%. Ether dominance all the way down to 10.7%. Not a good look, ETH. Not a good look. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. We got Whiff leading the pack, followed by the infamous Fart Coin. Can you smell what the rock is cooking with the Fart Coin? And we also have Onyx Coin. And let me know which alts, if any, you're bullish on for the bull. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective. It's clear to see, I'd say 70% of the market red over green. Zooming out on the monthly, like 80-20 red over green. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index today, we're 72 greed. Yesterday 72, last weekend 84. Extreme greed last month is 65 in greed. Checking out time chain calendar, and you can see we have 168,617 blocks until the next halving of 2028. We're currently on block number 881,383, and you currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 977 sats. So stack the sats, put down the gats, and pick up some Bitcoin caps from bitcoincaps.net. Tell Sergio JV sent you. And there you have it. Bitcoin price risk critical goal breakdown after 20% annual gains. That's right. Bitcoin may currently be trading in limbo amid a lack of directional catalyst, but one macro asset far from range bound is gold. And the Peter Schiffmeister is going crazy. TradingView confirms Bitcoin gained 10% year to date, with gold up around half of that. 5% in 2024. The latter gained 20%. Now, the precious metal has ignored the volatility shocks, such as this week's DeepSeek AI scare, which also tampered its traditional inverse correlation to the U.S. dollar. Gold prices have risen in a straight line higher, even as volatility shook the S&P. In fact, even as the U.S. dollar hit a new 52-week high and the 10-year note yield broke 4.8%, gold surged. Historically speaking, gold should be down sharply. But the opposite is happening. Why? Because the U.S. dollar is freaking doomed, and everything not the dollar is going to look like it's performing well, in my humble opinion. What are your thoughts, Briskies? Bitcoin's relationship to dollar strength is measured via the DXY, which is the U.S. Currency index, has long been a topic of discussion for market participants. The outcome for Bitcoin in the face of ramping gold upside is clear. All things aside, gold is about to make a new all-time high. A matter of time before Bitcoin follows, according to analyst Macau Van de Pop. Still not everyone says the status quo will continue for long. Analyzing the Bitcoin to gold ratio, we have North Star warning that a critical level was in danger are being violated. The ratio set new all-time highs of its own in December of last year. Bitcoin should break out versus gold after this consolidation here. But if the ratio falls below a 34, the bull run may end. Oh no, no need for any narrative or bias. Just observe the evidence as it unfolds. In this case, it'll be very clear, one way or the other. And in breaking news, Kentucky State Rep TJ Roberts says he'll file a Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Bill, quoting him here, "I will be filing a Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Bill on the first week of my return to the General Assembly." So shout out TJ for the win. And also, Bitcoin is closely following the 2017 cycle. Look at this. And shout out Dan Held for the post. Dan Held, what do you think happens next? And obviously, the black line is where we're at, and the blue line is the 2017 cycle. And if you remember, I mean, that was the year I discovered Bitcoin, so I remember it like it was yesterday. Bitcoin was roughly $1,000, and by the end of that year, December, it was at 20,000, or almost 20,000, 19 and some change, which is virtually a 20x. And it started off the year even lower. So if we are to follow this trajectory, what does that mean? Max Kaiser's 2.2 million target is in play, is what it means, because a 20x from 100,000 is virtually $2 million. So do you agree with Dan Held, the OG, that Bitcoin right now, this cycle, is closely following the 2017 cycle? Yay or nay? And what do you think will happen next? Holla at your boy. And let's pull up some of the live chart, a little live chart action. Jackson for the broskies. Here we are. Now you should be able to see this on your screen. And let's start actually with the 1 hour and work our way backwards. Just really quick glimpse of the time frames as we're pumping. Big green candle forming on the daily, but I think I said I was supposed to go to the hourly, my bad. Go to the 1 hour chart here, and you can see a rising wedge, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of consecutive green candles. So we've been pumping all afternoon, and we're currently above 104. We're pumping very fast during this live stream, which is a great sign. Hopefully you listened to the Nippinator indicator and stacked the biddy yesterday as he told you to buy. And zooming out, here's the 4 hour. 4 hour very lit as well. We have the 130,000 orange target, rising wedge formation, big green candles bulging. We got two back to back on the 4 hour. Very bullish. Zooming out, here's the daily chart. And as you can see, a big green candle forming on the day. Yesterday, we were like in the 99 range. We're definitely like sub 100. So it feels good to be back at 104. Virtually 5,000 away from price discovery. I'd say less than 5,000 away until the all-time high is recaptured. When do you think we'll recapture that all-time highs? We only have a couple of days left here in January. And checking out the weekly chart. 3 green consecutive weekly candles formed and forming, obviously, as we're in the middle of the week here. But zooming out from the weekly, here's a quick look at the monthly. And of course, we have that sexy 124,000 cup and handle target, which is a given. It's been there for a while. And checking out the monthly, nice green candle forming, which we love to see. And if you don't know, now you know. But anyways, keep the comments flowing. Let's continue with the news. I do got a lot to share this fine day. Here's the latest with Bitcoin adoption in the state of Utah. Headline reads, Utah House Committee passes the bill for the state to buy the crypto. That's right. The Utah House Committee passed the bill that would allow the state to invest a portion of the public funds into the crypto, with the measure now heading to the House for a vote. The Utah House Economic Development Committee passed the HB 230, the Blockchain Digital Innovation Amendments, by an 8-1 vote, and that was as of yesterday, the 28th. Utah Representative Jordan Tusher proposed the bill Jan 21st, in which would give the state's treasurer the authority to allocate up to 5% of a certain public fund to buy qualifying digital assets, such as those with a market cap of over 500 billion or approved stablecoins. So collectively saying Bitcoin or Tether USDT. Correct me if I'm wrong. The second substitute version of the original bill was updated January 28th with provisions for crypto mining zoning restrictions. The bill will now head to the full House, where it will need majority approval, both there and in the Senate, before it is given to the governor to sign or veto. 12 U.S. states now, including Utah's neighboring states of Arizona and Wyoming, the hometown of Cynthia Lummis, have introduced bills giving their local treasuries permission to buy crypto. According to the Bitcoin Reserve Monitor, it's all outlined right here. U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve status by state. And it's pretty awesome there. Now, the Satoshi Action Fund co-founder Dennis Porter said on X that Utah is the second U.S. state to pass a similar bill out of the committee, quoting him here, while Utah is the 11th state, my favorite number, to introduce similar legislation. We will be the first to pass it. You hear that, Trump? Now, Utah's bill would require the state digital assets to be held either through secure custody solutions, qualified custodians, or exchange-traded products. It would also allow the treasurer to engage in staking and lending crypto assets under specific conditions. The legislation would also prohibit state and local governments from restricting the acceptance of crypto assets as payments for legal goods and services. The bill, which needs the approval from the Utah Governor Spencer Cox, is scheduled to take effect May 7th if it's passed. Cox appeared to be pro-crypto, having signed a bill to create the Blockchain Digital Innovation Task Force in 2022. Meanwhile, South Dakota Representative Logan Manhart also suggests a concept of a state Bitcoin stockpile. And do you think Trump will stockpile the Bitcoin as he proposed in his executive order? And will it include other cryptos, or will it only be Bitcoin, because he clearly used the word crypto in that stockpile, even though in his original speech in Nashville he used the term Bitcoin? So let me know your thoughts. And quoting the South Dakota representative here, I am proud to say I will be bringing a bill in the South Dakota House that will create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now is one of the few chances that the government has at being proactive. Let's go. But yeah, next story, fam. Here's the latest with Trump. My apologies. I just realized I spelled media wrong. I put a W instead of an E. Oops. But I guess the W stands for winning or Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang. Either one is acceptable for me. But here's the next headline. Trump media to invest cash reserves into the Bitcoin, crypto, and exchange-traded funds. That's right. Trump Media and Technology Group Corp. On the NASDAQ, the ticker DJT, operator of the social media platform Truth Social and the video streaming platform Truth Plus. By a show of hands, how many of you actually use Truth Social or Truth Plus? I am just curious if anyone here actually uses that. I'm like all my time's on X, so I'm not going to pretend I'm on Truth Social, but sometimes I see people post the Trump tweet from his network onto X, you know, because he probably shares it on his platform first, I'm assuming. But anyways, Truth5, the company, stated that the board of directors approved a strategy to enter the financial technology sector. Quoting them here, to diversify the company's cash and cash equivalent reserves of over $700 million as of December 31st, 2024. The board has approved the investment of up to $250 million to be custodied by Charlie Schwab. That's right. In addition to traditional investment vehicles, these funds may be allocated to Bitcoin and similar cryptos. Well, guess what? There is no similar crypto. There is no second best. That's kind of ironic, but nonetheless. Besides crypto assets, the initiative includes plans to invest these funds into customized, separately managed accounts and ETFs. These investments will be managed in collaboration with Charlie Schwab, while the affiliate Yorkville Advisors will act as the registered investment advisor for the new financial products, which aim to support American growth industries and the patriot economy. That's right. Shout out to all my patriots. Trump Media and Technology Group is closely tied to President Trump, obviously, who holds a majority stake in the company. He founded it in 2021 after being banned from major social media platforms and launched Truth Social in 2022 as an alternative form of free expression. And then December 2024, he transferred $4 billion stake into it for a revocable trust. All wealthy people use trust controlled by his son, Donald Trump Jr., who holds exclusive voting and investment authority. And while Trump is not involved in the daily operations, his ownership and the platform's alignment with his political brand reinforce his connection to the company. Meanwhile, their CEO and chairman, Devin Nunes, expressed enthusiasm for the initiative, position it as a natural extension of the company's mission. Quoting him here, we look forward to launching Truth.fi and introducing these investment vehicles, unlocking synergies. He emphasized that the company has already established a free speech social media platform and a streaming service and is now moving into decentralized finance. Quoting him here, developing America First investment vehicles is another step towards our goal of creating a robust ecosystem, which American patriots can protect themselves from the ever-present threat of cancellation, censorship, debanking, privacy violations committed by big tech, and woke corporations. I can so relate because, as you know, Crypto News Alerts gets terminated under false pretenses on YouTube virtually every single year. I'm sick of it. So are you trying to tell me they're going to protect our First Amendment right of freedom of speech? Hallelujah. Anyways, the company plans to roll out these financial products in 2025 as agreements are finalized and regulatory approvals are secured. In recent years, Trump has taken a more pro-crypto stance. You could say that again. In January 2025, he signed the executive order establishing a working group to review digital asset regulations and explore the creation of a national Bitcoin reserve, making a significant shift from the previous policies. He also appointed David Sachs as the White House AI and crypto czar and selected a pro-crypto SEC chair named the Nipponator, the one and only Nipsey, signaling his administration's commitment to the digital asset sector. These moves reflect Trump's evolving perspective on crypto and his intent to position the U.S. as a leader in the field. The war on crypto is officially over. Quoting High Priest Max Kaiser off the back of this news. Anything allocated to shitcoins open up a vulnerability to the competitors who are Bitcoin only to exploit. This truth will win out, but the U.S. will find itself sucking the hind tit. I'll tell you this, not a good look, Trump, to be sucking the hind tit when we're supposed to be leading the world. So that's the difference between crypto adoption and Bitcoin adoption. Max preaching the truth here. I mean, so we'll see how it plays out. But nonetheless, there you have it. Let me know your thoughts, fan. And let me know, do you think America's stuck sucking the hind tit? It's like, I guess it could be worse, especially with the transgender agenda. I mean, we'll take the tit, but you know what I'm saying. Next story, KuCoin just got hit with like a $300 million fine, which is probably nothing because these exchanges make billions. But nonetheless, I found it interesting headline. So it reads, KuCoin agrees to pay $297 million to the U.S. government. Well, good thing they're going to be stockpiling this Bitcoin, but it says U.S., so I don't know if it's really Bitcoin. But anyways, for operating unlicensed money transmitting business, interesting. It's a lot of money there. Pekin Global Limited, the base company operating the KuCoin, pled guilty to operating an unlicensed money transmitting business, according to the press release from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Could just be a big shakedown, which happens quite often. But anyways, U.S. Attorney Daniel Rasoon says the exchange failed to maintain an adequate anti-money laundering program and failed to report suspicious transactions. Sound familiar? Quoting them here, as a result, KuCoin was used to facilitate billions of dollars worth of suspicious transactions and to transmit potentially criminal proceeds, including proceeds from the darknet markets and malware, ransomware, and fraud schemes. Today's guilty plea and penalty show the cost of refusing to follow these laws and allowing unlawful activity to continue. KuCoin has agreed to criminally forfeit $184 million and pay a fine of $112 million. Jeez. And the firm will exit the U.S. market for at least 2 years. Yeah, if you're in the U.S. market, you got to follow all the U.S. laws. And I guess apparently, allegedly, they weren't. Two of the exchange's founders, Chungan and Ketang, had agreed to forfeit approximately $2.7 million in funds. Neither founder will have any role in KuCoin's management or operations moving forward. KuCoin is currently the 17th largest crypto exchange of the world in terms of monthly visits, according to data from CoinGecko. So I know people that like KuCoin because maybe they can't open an American exchange for whatever reason. But for Americans, I don't really know anyone using KuCoin, but people that aren't in the U.S., it's a very popular exchange out there. And I guess apparently they weren't following any of the rules or regulations of the U.S. And when you are available in the U.S. to U.S. investors, you got to be very careful because they're going to come after you, shake you down, do whatever they can to shake it up. And seems to be what they're doing. And that's not the first exchange they've gone after. Obviously, they went after Binance. The Department of Justice got like a $4 billion payout from CZ craziness. And it's very common. They go after these exchanges, shake them down, in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts. But anyways, next story, we discussed the KuCoin fine. Now let's discuss the $250,000 target from Just Blaze Arthur Hayes. Then the big story of the day, Czech Republic proposing a $7.3 billion Bitcoin strategic reserve as the global hash wars continue. But first, Arthur Hayes says the ugly Bitcoin correction to propel the Bitty to $250,000 this year, 2025, with no material pullback. That's right. Check it. Hayes says that the more likely path forward for the Bitty is to drop by up to 32% for the current level before the massive rally. Quoting him here, I don't believe this bull cycle is over. However, on a forward-looking, probabilistic basis, I think we're more likely to go down to 70 Gs to 75 G's Bitcoin and then rise to 250 by the end of the year, then to continue grinding higher with no material pullback. Hayes says that after being bullish earlier this year, his giddiness has evaporated, owing to bearish signals from the macroeconomic environment and the crypto industry. Quoting just Blaze Arthur Hayes right here. Subtle movements between central bank balance sheet levels and the rate of the banking credit expansion, the relationship between the U.S. 10-year Treasury stocks Bitcoin prices, and the insane official Trump meme coin price action produced a pit in my stomach. This is a similar feeling I got late 2021, right before the bottom fell out of the crypto markets. The BitMEX co-founder says that another reason for his change in sentiment is that the rate of increase of the money supply is in the world first, second, fourth largest economies, which have decelerated. Quoting him again, a pullback of this magnitude would be ugly, just like Miss Yellen, because the current Senator Warren, because the current level of bullishness is so high. Trump continues to say the right things via executive orders, improve sentiment by pardoning Ross Ulbricht, and stoke the degen crypto spirits with his recent meme coin launch. That's fucking awesome. I'll say that again. And stoke the degen crypto spirits with his recent meme coin launch. Pretty spot on. But these things were mostly expected, bar the meme coin launch. What is not being fully appreciated is the slowdown in filthy fiat creation in Pax America, China, and Japan. And there you have it, coming directly from Arthur Hayes, just blazed. Now for our feature story of the day, big news. Czech Republic National Bank governor to propose a $7.3 billion Bitcoin reserve plan as the global hash wars, coined by Max Kaiser, continue. Bitcoin game theory in full effect. There's pretty little bitty going up. Nice pump in the market today. As you can see here in the headlines, there's a pretty big deal. The Czech National Bank may become the first European central bank to invest in Bitcoin as part of its diversification strategy for the country's foreign exchange reserves. Their governor, Ales Mikel, is set to present his Bitcoin acquisition plans at the bank's board meeting January 30th. That will be tomorrow on a Thursday, according to the Financial Times. If approved, the investment may amount to over $7.3 billion of the Bitcoin purchases. Where do you think they're getting all this Bitcoin from? Given their total reserves of more than, Jaina, 146 billion. Why are they so bearish? Now that I see how much money they have to play around with. Good Lord. That's money. Now, just to put that into perspective, these Bitcoin purchases alone would be equivalent to around 5.3 months of the newly mined Bitcoin supply. Let that one sink in, broskies. I mean, there's a few hundred Bitcoin being mined per day. They'd be buying up the supply for the next 5.3 months just from one acquisition from one country, one central bank. Mind-boggling. It truly is. The news comes 3 weeks after he said he was looking at Bitcoin as a potential reserve asset and was considering acquiring a few Bitcoin for the diversification. Well, I definitely define that 7.3 billion purchase as a few Bitcoin for sure. As of January 7th, the bank said it was not considering a Bitcoin investment. Then the advisor to the board told that he was adding that the bank planned to increase its gold holdings. That's a sucker's move. Do you know gold is the poor man's Bitcoin? If you don't know, now you know. But anyways, he announced all that here. Czech National Bank's goal is price stability. We took office, yada, 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 yada. And while Bitcoin is an interesting asset we're considering for a large portfolio, the bank, or the board for the bank, will need to provide thoughtful analysis. Well, please don't get it from Garrett Soloway. If you're going to get analysis, get it from the Nibinator indicator. I mean, it's the number one indicator, most accurate we've ever had since the inception of the Genesis block. But I digress. Trump administration's pro-crypto regulation has set the stage for the Bitcoin rally. We already touched upon this, so you already know those Trump guys can now kind of create some bubble for Bitcoin, but I think the trend would be an increase without those guys as well, because it is an alternative investment for more of the people. And while Bitcoin's prospects for 2025 remain promising, some, such as Arthur Hayes, as I covered in the previous story, say we can drop all the way down to 75,000 before the next leg up to 250,000. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Every analyst is going to have a different perspective, and that's totally cool. Reading with you some more tweets. This is from David Bailey, CEO of Bitcoin Magazine. Czech Central Bank meeting Thursday to vote on allocating up to 5% of their reserves into Bitcoin. The United States cannot wait 6 months. Trump, we need to go now. All things on go. And Adam Maxey, holy shiznit. Holy shnikes. Based on the current trajectory, Bitcoin's purchasable supply will run out in August of 2027. The kicker? This is with no acceleration, which is likely. No one is ready for this. And this ain't telling no lies. This is basically running the math that the current supply being bought up and scooped up tells us that if things were not to accelerate, in which we know for a fact they will accelerate, because you have the Czech Republic, you have the United States of America, you have pension funds, you have sovereign wealth funds, all this bullishness, we know accelerations are coming. But without that acceleration, we run out of Bitcoin on the exchanges August of 2027, there will be absolutely zero Bitcoin to buy. So you're going to have to bribe the hodlers for astronomical amounts to get to sell the biddy. Because no matter what amount you threw at me, I'd be like, I ain't selling no biddy. You don't sell your Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So there you have it. I mean, that's a sign of the times. I love this chart because people always ask, when are we going to run out of Bitcoin? Well, we have the smallest amount of Bitcoin on the centralized exchanges available, and it's only going to dry up. And when it dries up, super cycle, that's where shit gets crazy. We start ripping like the new Scottie Pippen. And also Kentucky State, TJ Roberts says he'll file the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Bill. So we're having the adoption. Game theory continues with global hash wars around the world. But there you go, crypto bros and bitty baddies. Let me know your thoughts with some of that. Obviously very bullish. And we'll flip this mofo into a pump watch as I do Q&A for the next hour. Let me know if that's cool with the broskies here. We may play some music videos as well, then put the charts up.